Hi guys, Paul Keeley. I just wanted to do a little video about the truth about weight loss and why weight loss in and of itself may not be as important as you think it is, going by what's kind of put out there in the mainstream media. So I just dive straight in. There is this is the biggest misconception, is that there's body weight is body weight, but in actual fact body weight is made up of a couple of different things. So you have muscle mass, fat mass, and stuff like that. So body weight versus body fat is totally different. Okay, so these two guys here illustrate that perfectly, in that they're both the exact same height, the exact same weight, but the two of them look totally different. They're worlds apart. So the guy on the left, loads of muscle mass, very lean, very little body fat, and then the guy on the right has a lot of body fat and probably very little lean mass. So the two of them are worlds apart in their how they look and the amount of body weight and body fat they have. Now, I always get the question, what's the best way to lose weight, or what's the quickest way to lose weight and stuff like that, and I always think that's just the wrong question. The question should be, how do I get to look better naked? Because obviously if these two guys that are the exact same weight took off, well, one of them has his clothes off already, but if the other guy took his clothes off already, or the other guy took off his clothes, you'd see that the two of them look totally different, and one will look much better naked than the other. So all of our goals, now some performance is separate to this, but for the most part what we all want is to look better naked, and there's no point in being shy about it. You can say you want to lose weight all you want, but that's just a number on the scales. Now, losing weight is an indicator that your diet might be going in the right direction, but if you're not looking better in the mirror, it's not going to be worth it, really, at the end of the day. Another thing is, when people lose weight, sometimes if you just go on a diet and you do certain types of exercise, you lose weight, but you're also losing muscle mass at the same time. And as I'm going to talk to you about now, losing muscle mass makes your metabolism go down. Alright, so there's an awful lot of misconceptions, because metabolism comes into play basically when you're either gaining muscle mass or losing muscle mass, losing weight or whatever. And it's a thing, I think, that there's a lot of misconceptions about it basically, but metabolism is just the transference of energy. Alright, so that's all it is. It's basically your body transferring the energy from your food into your body to do jobs. Simple as that. To make muscle, to make up fat, or to do work, so moving your muscles, thinking, anything like that. And where that metabolism comes from is your muscle mass in general. So an individual, as the guy on the left back there, will have a much higher metabolic rate overall than the guy on the right, because he's holding much more muscle mass. Okay, so this little diagram kind of divides it out of where your metabolic rate comes from. Okay, so at the bottom, the big red part, you have resting metabolic rate, and that's basically the amount of energy you need to sit on your bum and just do nothing. That's all, just to stay alive and to maintain your body weight. The next part, the little yellow part, is the thermic effect of food, and basically that's the amount of energy you require to digest and assimilate the energy from your food, and that's simple as that. So the more food you eat, the more thermic effect of food you have, the higher your metabolism, which is another thing people don't realize when they go on a diet, and they vastly reduce the amount of calories and other nutrients that they're eating in, and the thermic effect of food goes down, so you're losing some of your metabolism from that. The next part up is non-exercise activity thermogenesis. Big fancy term. All it means is the energy that you burn up when you're standing, when you're talking, when you're walking, when you're doing anything that's not formal exercise. So I'm doing a lot of neat now because I'm moving around, yapping away, waffling probably. And the next part is exercise. So you can see exercise makes up a fairly small little part of the whole picture. It's only about 20% now. A lot of people, I think, get the wrong idea about exercise, and that exercise should be to spend energy. So you eat food, and that it's like a balancing scales. Now, it's very complicated, calorie balance, all that sort of stuff, but the nuts and bolts of it is that you shouldn't be exercising to spend energy. You should be exercising to increase your resting metabolic rate, because there's much more room for improvement there, and then just being more active on a daily basis to improve your net energy or net exercise activity thermogenesis, that neat part. So there are two places you can improve vastly upon with regard energy expenditure, above and beyond slogging it out, trying to burn X amount of calories when you're running on the treadmill or on the elliptical or on the rower or whatever it is. So that's just a little bit about metabolism. Now, I've done up a little thought experiment here just to highlight the kind of things that I'm getting. I'm just looking at the time because I tend to waffle on. So basically, two guys go on a lifestyle kick. All right, they start off with the exact same statistics, so they're both 100 kilos. Now you can see I put in body fat percentage there. If you're not measuring your body fat at the start of any kind of fitness endeavor, weight loss endeavor, whatever it is, you're losing a big massive part of the picture, in that you don't know how much muscle you have, you don't know how much fat you have. And when you're just talking in terms of weight, it's useless. It is very useless. Now you can see progress, but what that progress is coming from, whether you're wasting away a muscle or what, it's kind of up in the wind. So you can see this to start off with, these guys have the exact same metabolic rate, the exact same amount of lean mass, the same amount of fat mass. Now John did a really good program. He lifted weights, he lifted heavy weights, he stimulated his muscles to grow, thus increased his resting metabolic rate. He went on a diet that was high in protein, high in fiber and other healthy foods, and increased his thermic effect of food. He was also much more fidgety, up and walking around, doing more activity during the day apart from his formal exercise. To finish off with, he was just under 90 kilos, 15% body fat, great results. His lean weight went up 6 kilos, his fat went down 16 kilos. Now, very good overall results, and his metabolic rate is much healthier. He can actually eat more food at the end of the day. Now, poor Tom, on the other hand, he went on a very calorie restricted diet, didn't increase his protein, got very low amount of fiber in his diet. Okay, so his thermic effect of food was down. He lost a lot of muscle mass as well as fat mass. So he did lose 9 kilos of fat mass, but at the same time he lost 6 kilos of lean mass, the exact opposite of what John did. Now, because of that, his resting metabolic rate will be lower at the end of the day, and his resting metabolic rate will come down because he's been becoming accustomed to a low calorie diet. Alright, so at the end of the day, poor old Tom is left not looking as good naked at the end of the day, and he's able to eat less food, put in simple terms. Alright, now what did John do basically? So he increased his muscle mass, so his base metabolic rate went up. He increased his his non-exercise activity thermogenesis, so he was fidgeting more, increased his thermic effect of food. Okay, so what did Tom do? The exact opposite. Okay, the result, poor old Tom looks more like the guy on the right, and John looks more like the guy on the left. Okay, so just to recap, what I was waffling about there is, you're much better off increasing muscle mass and losing fat instead of just weight, just thinking about the number on the scales. Why? Because you'll be healthier to the end of the day, both metabolically and hormonally, and you look better naked, and that's what we all want. And my favorite really is that you can eat more food. Simple as that. Brilliant stuff. How? Well, that's exactly what I'll be teaching guys that sign up for Project Alpha, that's starting in a week's time at SBG on the Naas Road. So if you want to find out more information about that, just click the link in the video. Okay, thanks very much. Bye bye.